The second half is here. We've got fresh trade rumors to get into. Could the Dodgers get this elite pitcher and an outfielder? This has been a multi-time all-star that would help them in the present and in the future. We also got second half bold predictions. We've got the probables for this weekend. Baseball is back, and we're breaking it all down next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You guys wanting a parade? We got a parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 clock. Mookie magic. Cleveland hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. What is up, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Dmac_LA. If you're new to the channel, do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you are already subscribed, you want to support the channel, hit the like button. Podcast listeners, write us a review. We'll read it on the show. We've got so much to get into. The second half is finally here. And, of course, when I mean second half, I mean there's 40.7% of the season left. It's not a true first half and second half in Major League Baseball, but still it is the home stretch. And we've got so much Dodger baseball to get into, so let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So tonight at Dodgers Stadium, the season resumes. The Milwaukee Brewers head to Dodger Stadium to face LA for the first time since they met a couple weeks ago. And this weekend's probables, tonight you got Tyler Glasnow on the bump for LA going up against Quinn Priester. Saturday, Emmet Sheehan versus Freddie Peralta. And then Sunday, Clayton Kershaw going up against Jose Quintana. So Quintana pitched well against the Dodgers in Milwaukee. Kersh gave him a really nice outing. We're not going to see Mizorowski. Mizorowski's not pitching during this series. And yeah, one thing that sticks out to me was just listening to Clayton Kershaw and Paul Skenes talk about each other and listening to just the mutual respect that they had for one another. It was a little different than the Mizorowski-Kershaw thing. I think that was very blown out of proportion where people were freaking out that Clayton Kershaw said, oh, that guy that throws fast about Jacob Mizorowski. Well, here's Clayton Kershaw talking about Paul Skenes.
Paul Skenes before this said that he was hoping that by the end of the week you wouldn't be sick of him. Just kind of what were those interactions like, and just what do you think about him as a pitcher?
Well, as a pitcher, he's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, he's a bulldog out there, so competitive, just coming after guys, not fazed by anything. So there's a lot of those guys. You know, I said it about Scooble as well. Both those guys have been super impressive to watch, and to get to talk to Paul this week has been fun. You know, he's got such a regimented routine. You can tell, you know, just even the 2 days we were here, and you don't realize how big he is too. Like, if there's ever a guy that can throw that hard and stay healthy and good for a long time, like I'd bet on him. You know, it's super impressive. And so I didn't have a whole lot to tell him. You know, we talked a little bit about, you know, pitch grips and different things like that, but you can tell he wants to be good. You know, he wants to be great, and he wants to be good for a long time. So you got to respect that. It's pretty cool.
So that was Kersh talking about Paul Skenes, and I asked Paul Skenes after the All-Star game about his thoughts on his interactions and just being around Clayton Kershaw during the All-Star game.
Paul, you said that by the end of the week you were hoping that Clayton Kershaw wasn't going to be sick of you. Just what were those interactions like, and what was it like to just pitch before him and play this game with him?
Yeah, I kept my distance a little bit. Our lockers were next to each other. So I asked him, I didn't get any time really to talk to him yesterday, but talked to him a little bit today. he's such a class act. Like it's just so impressive. Obviously what he's done in the game, but the human that he is. We were in the waiting room before the red carpet today, and he had all his kids, and watching him be a dad too. It's just it was cool. It was a cool experience for me.
So you see the mutual respect between Clayton Kershaw and Paul Skenes. The reason why I brought that up is to point out that Clayton Kershaw isn't afraid to give the next generation their love, to give them their credit for great pitching performances and just being a future star in the game. So Mizorowski, the Miz, just having a little chip on his shoulder that Clayton Kershaw didn't know who he was after just a handful of starts. Bro needs to relax, okay? You're not a made man at this point. Lots of talent, lots of potential, but yeah, I think that was extremely overblown, and this is proof point that Clayton Kershaw does have a lot of respect for the next generation of superstar pitchers, and Paul Skenes is that guy. He absolutely is that guy, and just talking to him a little bit after that as well, what a stud. The way that he carries himself, the way that he understands his role in this game, the fact that he is this ultra competitor in the All-Star game, those were his two hardest, fastest throwing strikeouts of the season because he had that adrenaline, and it just made me wonder, hey, wait a second. If this guy was playing meaningful baseball, what could he look like? And just imagine him at Dodgers Stadium in front of a sold-out crowd in Southern California, where he's from, coming to watch Paul Skenes pitch. I am going to continue to manifest this. It's not happening at this trade deadline. All the Pittsburgh insiders I've talked to have told me that the Pirates aren't even entertaining the idea of trading Paul Skenes this time around. But long-term play, I think he belongs in L.A. I really do. And what Clayton Kershaw told me there, I think sticks out. He said that if there's one guy that can throw that hard, and continue to stay healthy and get away with just throwing at that level of velocity, then it is going to be a Paul Skenes. So for all the injury concerns of high-velocity pitchers, that I think is extremely interesting to hear him say right there. But now let's get into some of your comments, guys. Welcome to Dodgers Dugout Live, a Friday show. Baseball's back, baby. Like I said, one of my pet peeves in baseball, one of my big pet peeves in baseball is people calling it the second half of the season. It's 40.7% left of the season. So let's just call it what it is. It is the home stretch, though, okay? Just nitpicking there. Dmac, how is the wife and kid doing? Good? Hey, they're doing better than we got Ray Soto. Skenes wants to pitch in L.A. Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. David Yu Skenes asked Kirsch how to get him traded to the Dodgers. David Yu. Yeah, it was cool to just see them being around each other and him soaking that up. Noah Davis traded for a bean and cheese burrito and a losing lottery ticket from Reno San. That's a nice burn. It's a nice burn. Paul Skenes' girlfriend did a post on IG with Chelsea Freeman. I saw them talking. Yeah, Chelsea Freeman and Livy Dunn were talking a good amount down waiting inside the tunnel there. Kirsch is so classy, future Dodger. DePaula already better than Outman. Some more comments. We got 80 says, I'm with you, Dmac, we are going to manifest Skenes of the Dodgers. I know for a fact he will look great in Dodger blue. Sammy Boy Smith, Dmac chopping it up with Paul Skenes. Paul Skenes is a great dude. I'm not even I'm so sold on Paul Skenes. This he has a chance to go down as one of the greatest pitchers. I know it's just a couple years, but the way that stuff plays, I mean, he could be in that Kershaw, Randy Johnson, Greg Maddux. I mean, a lot has to happen for him to get there, but just on pure potential, he really does have that. There's no doubt about it. There just is no doubt about that. Yeah, I see people. By the way, speaking of people, even if you had a bad day yesterday, at least you didn't get caught at a Coldplay concert. Did you guys see that? Check out this meme I made. What do you guys think? This is the Houston Trasterix in the 2017 World Series. That's what first came to mind. When I think of cheaters, the first thing that comes to my mind is the Houston Astros. So I had to cook this meme up. But guys, let's switch gears. Let's switch gears to the rumor that has been circulating about the Dodgers and their interest in 2 Cleveland Guardians players by the name of Emmanuel Clase and outfielder Steven Kwan. And this comes from my friend, my co-host on my Ram show, Travis Rogers. So Travis Rogers on his show, DeMarco and Travis on ESPN Radio 710 LA, he reported that there are whispers about Clase and Kwan to the Dodgers. And he said 2 starting pitchers, which are very hard to come by, who they would want would be Justin Robleski and Ben Kasparius. And then you would also have to include Josue DePaula. Now, that is a haul where I still think that the Guardians would want more. Emmet Sheehan, where they wanted Dalton Rushing. I mean, when you look at that package right there. But the first thing I want to say, though, is Travis Rogers, a good friend of mine, like I said, co-host of my Ram show, he is not a hashtag trust me bro type of guy. He's not a, hey, I'm just making up things for radio content. No, I know Travis pretty well at this point. Lucky to call him a friend, and he is legit when it comes to his sourcing. He does not make things up. I have conversations with him 5 days a week, before the show, after the show. He is not one of those type of guys. So if he's saying this, it means that there is some legitimacy to this. And even if at the smallest level, it's just that the Dodgers are interested in acquiring those 2 players. I reached out to a source from the Dodgers, and they said, yeah, there is interest in players like that, right? I mean, you're looking at a closer. You're looking at potentially adding another outfielder. And that's certainly something that is top of mind for them at this trade deadline. So just before we get into each individual player, we're going to dive into them in a second here. This is legit. This is legit. The Dodgers definitely would be interested in Emmanuel Clase, definitely could potentially be interested in Steven Kwan. If you've been following this organization for years now, you know that when they go big game hunting, when they go out there and swing big for a trade, it's usually all-star and all-star. It's usually multiple players. Max Scherzer, Trey Turner. Sometimes you see guys under team control. Even last year, the trade they swung was for Kopech, and they found a way to get Tommy Edman in the deal. This is how they get value, because Andrew Friedman has said multiple times that the trade deadline is the worst time to buy because the prospect capital cost is so high. I've told you that Andrew Friedman, he likes to buy the Halloween candy the day after Halloween. That's in the offseason when it's a little cheaper. Well, the trade deadline is peak buyer season, especially with the expanded postseason. So for them to get some value out of this and to justify parting ways with some top prospects is including multiple players in the deal and addressing multiple needs. Now, why they like the Steven Kwan and Emmanuel Clase deal is it addresses multiple areas for the present and in the future. Because Clase is under team control for multiple years, he's under 30. Steven Kwan is under team control for multiple years, and he's under 30. So you get some stability that these guys are not just rentals. So let's start with Steven Kwan. Let's hit the Kwan first. You guys want to hit the Kwan? Okay. Steven Kwan, what are the pros of Steven Kwan? First major pro, really good outfielder, has an elite arm above all else. I mean, you think Andy Paz has a good arm? Steven Kwan is right up there in the 100th percentile when it comes to arm strength. So from an elite arm standpoint, he certainly has that. Does not strike out a ton at all. Single digits in strikeout rate. Strikes out a little over 8% of the time. So he hits for contact. He can put the ball in play. He's a career 116 weighted runs created plus hitter. So he's been 16% above league average. He's a guy that will get you anywhere from 3 to 4 WAR per season, and he's someone that from the left side is going to put the ball in play. Now, he does not hit the ball hard. In fact, his contact rate, he hits for the weakest contact in Major League Baseball. I mean,
and he pulled
per average, he's in the 1 percentile when it comes to hard contact. That's not what he does. He's not one of these guys that's going to barrel up a million balls. hit scorchers off the bat. No, he's someone that's going to put the ball in play. And when he's right, when he's at his very best with Steven Kwan, you're looking at a season where he's getting on base, where he is getting you clutch hits, and he's playing really good defense, and also being a dynamic base runner. Steven Kwan also can definitely kind of move a little bit, sprint speed below average, but instinctive base runner for sure. But at his best season was in 2024, hit 292, had a 368 on base, slugged 425, hit 14 home runs. So he's Tommy Edman-ish, but with just very minimal strikeouts. This year he's striking out 8.4% of the time, walking 8.2% of the time. And then you look at the contract situation that he's in. He's making $4.18 million this season. It's his first year of arbitration. He's made multiple all-star teams at this point, 2024 and 2025. So when you look at the arbitration numbers moving forward, you're going to have to start paying this guy. And you're going to be looking at someone that is probably going to be in the 8-figure range when it comes to yearly salary. And when you're in the 8-figure range and you're on the Cleveland Guardians, well, that's when time's a ticking that they were going to want to trade you before they have to pay you. He would be the third or second, something in that range, highest paid player on the Cleveland Guardians next season if they don't trade him. Think about how wild that is. Other than J-Ram, you don't have anyone that's above that $12 million range per season. So that is when the Guardians tend to move off guys if they're considering it. And the Guardians are a team that's always looking to get younger and try to build through high-level, high-ceiling prospects, and they know how to develop pitching. So if you did get a Ben Kasparius and you got a Justin Robleski, both guys that are trending up this season, that are both pre-arbitration, you get a Josue DePaula who's coming off a big futures game, who's really trended up this season. Josue DePaula is already a prospect that had a lot of buzz just because of his upside. I've heard people compare him to Juan Soto as far as kind of what he can do in the batter's box. And I talked to Josue DePaula during spring training, and really his goal is just to kind of lift the ball more, to try to see more power out of it. But Josue DePaula is definitely a attractive prospect for the Guardians potentially. I do think that if you're the Dodgers, is Josue DePaula off limits? Absolutely not. There's no doubt about it. Like, he is not off limits. If a need comes along and you have a guy that you really want and they want Josue DePaula, even though I believe in him, he's their number one prospect now, right? He's their top prospect at this point. And I think if the Dodgers had to pick between Josue DePaula and Zaire Hope, I think they would take Zaire Hope because they're extremely high on him. He's younger-ish, and he's got a lot of upside in the outfield, base runner, as a hitter. But look, you have to give something to get something. I think that teams out there, though, would value DePaula higher than they would value Hope. But it really would be a massive haul if you looked at these two guys. Because you look at where the Guardians are at right now, the question is, are they going to be sellers? Because if they're sellers, it makes sense to move Clase, and it makes sense to move Kwan for their roster build. Because even though they're not completely out of contention this season, they are built for 2026 and beyond. They have they're trailing in the division by 12 games. They're behind the Tigers by 12 games. And right now, Cleveland's in fourth place. So you're right there with the Twins and the Royals. You're 46 and 49. You're not going to win that division. And you're really in the outside looking in when it comes to the wild card spot. I mean, in the wild card race, I mean, you're looking at the Seattle Mariners. You're looking up at them. So right now, if you look at the Guardians playoff odds, they're at 10.4% per Fangraphs. So that's not high postseason odds. And even so, I mean, you're not going to go all in with this group. So I do think that the Guardians are going to listen to offers. And once you start listening to offers, and it's Andrew Friedman, and it's the Dodgers, a franchise that knows how to get what they want at the deadline, then I think it starts to get really interesting. So that's the pros on Steven Kwan. And now let's talk about Emmanuel Clase, who in the last handful of seasons, as far as relievers go, he's been in a Class A all by himself. And so far this season, he's gotten off to a slow start. He actually had a 6.75 ERA, had 2 blown saves and 7 opportunities through the end of April. But since then, he's been back to being elite. He's been back to being an all-star. He's converted 15 of 17 saves, posted a 1.20 ERA in his last 29 appearances, a 1.1 F/WAR. He's still looking really, really good. And if you look at how much he's owed, it's also extremely, extremely cost-effective. And that's why I do think that the Dodgers would probably have to go a little bigger on how many prospects they would want to give up for him. Because Clase, $6.4 million next season, and then 2 club options for $10 million per season in 2027 and 2028. So he's under team control for the remainder of this year, plus 3 more years on top of that. That's a lot of team control, because he did sign a 5-year, $20 million deal a few years ago. So if he's really being shopped as an elite reliever, I find it a little hard to believe that even this deal would get it done. I think if the Dodgers were presented with this deal with DePaula, Robleski, and Kasperius as a foundation, I think 100% they would probably pull the trigger already, just because I think that they have been interested in Clase for multiple seasons. I can report that. I know that for a fact. And then Kwan, he looks like a Dodger, smells like a Dodger, feels like a Dodger in the sense that he just kind of brings you an element of dynamic ability that this franchise has always coveted. And I do think that you don't really see trades get made before the All-Star break, really. It's pretty rare. But I think that you put the building blocks in place to get those deals done. And if you're the Guardians, I think you want to wait for a couple of weeks to see what else surfaces. What other teams are going to be aggressive buyers? Are they going to be in the mix at all for the postseason? And if not, and you make it known around the league that Clase is available, well, then you want to start a bidding war. And there's a lot of teams out there that are going to want elite closers, dynamic hitters, and Kwan is that, Clase is that. Then the next question becomes kind of, what does this mean for your current rotation, your current bullpen, your current lineup? Well, as far as the bullpen goes, I don't think this changes much. I don't think this is let's bring in Clase because Tanner Scott has had the year that he's had. I think it makes them a little more open to trading for an elite reliever because he's been shaky at times. But I know internally they think that Tanner Scott is going to be able to figure things out, and they still trust that he's going to be a high leverage arm for them in the postseason. I think the Clase thing is more of a, hey, we lost Evan Phillips. Blake Trinan is up and down with his injury history, and we're just going all in. And also someone that's there for the future. Now, it would be pretty interesting for the Dodgers, a franchise that historically under Andrew Friedman has not given out too many massive contracts to relievers. Tanner Scott, of recent memory, we had Kenley Jansen towards the end there, and when he signed his big deal, Andrew Friedman really was just kind of taking over this organization. But you had the Joe Kelly deal for $25 million, the Blake Trinan deal. But really, this is an organization that likes to trade for relievers at the deadline, the Chris Martin types, and Tony Watson, right? Of course, we don't love that deal for the O'Neill Cruz. And then you find the reclamation projects, the Ryan Braziers, the Michael Kopechs, guys like that, the Evan Phillipses, guys like that, right? And with Clase, he's under multiple years of team control, which definitely is a great thing. But then you got Tanner Scott and Clase, two big-time closers under contract. I think with Clase, the money, $6.4 million next year, that will be at 110% surcharge because they're in the 3-time luxury tax violators bracket, right? The Stephen Cohen tax. So that $6.4 million is really $12.8 million per season for the Dodgers to get Class A for next year. And then after that, that $10 million is $20 million. So really you look at Class A, and it's kind of one of those things when a new car comes out and it's like a really expensive car, right? It's like when like the new Hummers come out, or like I remember like the Mach E's or whatever. Like, it's the MSRP is one thing, like the new Corvette, like the MSRP is one thing, but then you actually have to pay over sticker price. Well, for Class A, you're actually paying well over sticker price, because that $10 million is actually $20 million, so you're at $40 million, and then you're at $52 million. So do you want Class A for 3 years plus this year for 52 plus million? I still think the answer would be yes, but just pointing out that it's not just, surface level what that contract is. You always have to factor in the 110% that the Dodgers have to pay. I know that's a lot, guys, but I know that's why you also tune into this show. We go a little deeper around these parts. Now, through some comments, though, I'm gonna throw out some other names, too. So I'm going to throw out an alternate package for you guys for some other players that I think are very intriguing. And it's another outfielder closer combination. We're going to do this in a second here, but I do want to read some comments. And then also, we got an interview with Ben Verlander. I want to play for you guys some quick hitters, Gary Sheffield, Joe Torre. But let's read some comments here. Welcome to Dodgers Dugout Live. What happened to Johan Duran, Dmac, Malachi Ferreira? He's still my number one. He is. That's how much I believe in him. I'm just reporting the most recent rumor. Duran would be extremely expensive, too. And he's under multiple years of team control. He's young. Jose Aguirre, going to the game tomorrow for my birthday. Was hoping for Shohei or Kershaw, but just hope they get a W. You get the Fernando bobblehead. Okay, that Fernando bobblehead is sick. It's a really awesome bobblehead. Fernando Mania for life. 12-hour power nap. I like that name. Dmac, did you get to watch him against the Yankees last year? See, that's the thing. I mean, all closers have their moments. Kenley Jansen, Marwin Gonzalez, Aroldis Chapman, Jose Labubu Altuve. I mean, but yeah, I mean, that's somebody to consider. He hasn't been particularly lights out in the postseason. It's something that crosses my mind. I'll just be honest with you there. So I definitely did watch that postseason game. I watch every postseason game because that's what I do. And Nando 390, Class A turns into Kershaw in October. Nando bringing the rips there. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like, you have to factor in that Class A stuff is still really good. You look at his measurables, the underlying stuff. I mean, it's still really, really, really good. It's just, does some guys perform well in the postseason? Some guys don't. And I think it's still a relatively small sample size for Class A that you could sell yourself in the idea that him with the Dodgers would be a different situation. I mean, if you look at his postseason career, he has pitched in a grand total of 11 games, 14 innings. Yes, has not been good for the most part in those innings. I mean, he's had some good. I mean, 2022 Cleveland versus the Yankees a couple years prior to that, 2 games in that series. He pitched well. Last year against the Yankees in 3 games, had a 15.43 ERA, gave up 2 home runs, 4 earned runs. I mean, you could chalk that up to a bad series. So I wouldn't let that be the end-all, be-all, but it's definitely something worth noting. Joel, why not Chris Sale? Well, that's a starting pitcher. It's a little different. I saw Chris Sale wearing the sickest Atlanta Braves iced-out chain, by the way. He was dripping, man. I saw him on the field. Quan grew up a Giants fan. Yeah, he's from he went to Oregon State. He's the Oregon State Beaver. He's from the Bay. Nando, that package plus Miller and Outman gets you Scooble. Nicole Scooble ain't getting traded. Dmac from Air. What up, Jeremy Buckley? Ray Soto, J-Ram, and Clase A, and seal the deal. Roy Estrada, Clase A is roommates with Jansen and Crumble. I see what you did right there. Dino Ebel isn't as bad as giving up home runs as Lance Lynn. That's a comment of the show so far. That's a comment of the show. I got to show that some love for sure. Give you a nice little, I'm going to give you a little comment of the show here. You know what? Let's do that a little bit. Mason Miller would make more sense. Mason Miller's under way too much team control. Way too much team control. We got Vague. I'm trading my Ohtani rookie card. Okay. For a rookie card autograph. That's very interesting. Okay. So another name I want to throw out there that I think could be interesting if the Boston Red Sox become sellers. And you look at the Boston Red Sox, I mean, they're pretty solid as far as where they're at. I mean, they're 53-45, 3 games back in the division. From a wild card standpoint, they're right there and just one of those teams with the Yankees and Mariners. But let's say they tank in the second half. Let's say the Dodgers go out there and sweep them in Fenway the end of this month. Who knows? Do they become sellers? And if they do, I think Aroldis Chapman makes a lot of sense for the Dodgers because, one, he's on expiring contract. He's been elite this season. We know that he's a guy that's had some high highs, some low lows in the postseason. But when the Dodgers go out there and make a trade for an elite reliever, I think they could stomach that with, hey, it's an expiring contract. We're not committed to this guy for multiple seasons. The prospect capital cost would be significantly lower than it would be to get Chapman if they were going to trade him than it would be to go after a Johan Duran, to go after a Emmanuel Clase. And then if you want to do the package deal, Jarren Duran I still think is extremely interesting because Jarren Duran, he's controllable. He's under team control until 2028. And he's young. He's 28 years old. But the Red Sox, they have a surplus of outfielders. So if they were going to move on from someone, Jarren Duran could be that guy. And he hasn't been great this season after that breakout season he had last year. But what I like about Duran, couple things. Southern California dude. I don't care what anyone says. Means something to me. Means something to me when you're from Southern Cal and you know what it's like here. You know the expectations. You feel comfortable. I'm sure it'd be great to play in front of friends and family. We know that's a draw. And I also like that he's kind of the opposite of Steven Kwan for certain reasons. Steven Kwan is more consistent, more reliable, doesn't strike out as much, hits for more contact. But what Duran brings you is high upside to slug. This year, even though his numbers are down, so last year he hit 285. This year is down to 258. Last year he slugged 492. This year's down to 431. His weighted runs created plus was 130 last year, where he was 30% above league average. Had a 6.9 FWAR season. That's down to 103 this year. So he's 3% above league average. Last year he had 21 home runs. This year he's hit 8 home runs in 97 games. But I look at the average exit velocity. He's in the 88th percentile in average exit velo, 92.1 miles per hour. 69th percentile in hard hit percentage, 46.5. The bat speed, 85th percentile. Barrel rate is above average. So average exit velo, barrel rate, bat speed, hard hit percentage, all the hard contact numbers are above average. His expected batting average, his expected slug, it's around league average, but he hits the ball really hard. And I know we've talked about that a lot. Oh, hits the ball hard. Does that mean anything? We've heard that for Mike Conforto. Show me the results. Sure, but Duran, he's got that upside. I think that if they were looking to move off of him, and you look at what Boston would want, and you never know. I mean, would Boston really want to trade with the Dodgers again after the Mookie Betts trade and kind of the deals they made? It probably wouldn't be good from an optic standpoint. But still, I mean, if I'm the Red Sox, I would look to try to get a deal from the Dodgers to get a win in that deal. Just a chance that Josue DePaula could be great, or one of their top prospects could be great for us to make up for the Mookie Betts trade, which was one of the best trades in history. Basically, honestly, baseball version of Luka Doncic to the Lakers at this point. I mean, I think that, yeah, I would consider it if I was the Boston Red Sox. If I was going to move off a guy, Jarren Duran, Cal State Long Beach guy, hits the ball hard. Honestly, Clase and Steven Kwan would be nice. Kwan definitely profiles as a Dodger, but Duran, he brings a lot of things to the table, man. 91st percentile in sprint speed. That is significantly higher than Kwan. Not having a great year defensively, but still he can get it done. I think, too, fans will love him. I think he'd be popular with the fan base. So, yeah, I think that'd be just a much cheaper deal to go out there and get a Jarren Duran and Aroldis Chapman if they were available. But, all right, guys, coming up next, we've got our bold predictions, some quick bold predictions, an update on Blake Snell. We've got a couple quick hitter interviews with Ben Verlander, Joe Torre, and Gary Sheffield. That's coming up next here on Dodgers Dugout Live. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, the number one Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. Go to gearup.la today for the best Dodgers gear in the game. I was talking to Haesung Kim up in San Francisco, and he was telling me he wants the Comet shirt. So we're going to get him a bunch of those Comet shirts. But this is our newest shirt, the CK3K 3000 strikeouts. I'm going to send one to you, Nando. The King Kerr shirt. This is awesome. Every color, black, blue, navy, gray. Go pick one up today because, look, I can confidently say that I think Clayton Kershaw will be the last Dodger to throw for 3,000 strikeouts. And it's just an awesome shirt. You got the crown. You got the animation. It's designed by yours truly. So if you want to support this show, support me, go pick one of these shirts up. And most importantly, support Clayton Kershaw. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball history. So go to gearup.la and pick one up today. Also, just want to send a shout out to Max Muncy. So Max Muncy, he's doing the Bid for a Cause online auction to support LA wildfire relief. Now text Foothills to 76278. That's text Foothills, FOOTHILLS, FOOTHILLS to 76278. It's an online auction. Head over to foothills.giveaway mart to support Max Muncy's charity. That's foothills.givesmart.com to support Max Muncy's charity and bid for a custom-etched, team-signed 6-liter bottle of wine. Every single player on the Dodgers signed it, and proceeds will go to LA Wildlife Relief. The link to the auction will be in our episode description. Also, Dodgers Comedy Night, a Grand Slam night of comedy presented by Dodgers catcher Will Smith, hosted by Tom Papa. So that's exciting stuff. That is going to be a great night. It's Wednesday, August 6th, 8 p.m. at the Largo. So I will be there covering that. That should be a lot of fun. Can't wait to go to that event. That's always great. So Will Smith's Comedy Night's going to be kind of his thing. All right, guys. So it's a couple of quick things here I want to get into. Some updates. You got Dodgers Brewers tonight. One of the big storylines for the second half of the season will be Mookie Betts. Will Mookie Betts and his bat come back? Will Mookie Betts' bat return to 1,000 Vince Scully Avenue? First bold prediction of the second half of the season. Mookie Betts will be top 3 on the team in OPS. I know that in years past that wouldn't be bold at all, but when you consider the fact that he has a 696 OPS, that would be the worst of his career. Well, that is saying something because it's tough to find the reasons why he's struggling. Because I've heard people say it's because he's striking out. No, it's not. He's striking out at a 10.7% clip. That is the 8th lowest in all of Major League Baseball. That's the lowest of his career. It's just the power numbers have dropped. It's a 381 slugging percentage. Last year, he was slugging 491. So that slugging percentage is down over 100 points. The exit velocity numbers from 89.9 miles per hour to 88.5. So that's dropped. So he talked to us a couple weeks ago about how he has created some bad habits because the bat speed has gone down. He also lost almost 20 pounds before the season, dealing with that illness, playing shortstop. So my hope is that Mookie Betts took this time off, didn't make the All-Star team for the first time in a long time, and was able to just get some rest, clear his mind, come back and have success. Because once you doubt Mookie Betts, that's when he comes back with a vengeance. So I'm very excited to see Mookie Betts in the second half, Mookie living his Betts life once again. I don't want to hear people saying that he's washed, saying that he's done. No, look, Mookie Betts turn this franchise around, if we're being completely honest. It was the trade for Mookie Betts in 2020 that I think took this franchise to a whole nother level. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget how much Shohei Ohtani would speak glowingly of Mookie Betts, and that definitely was a factor. Mookie still is the guy in this clubhouse, and if he struggles, that's not going to be good for this team. And another bold prediction, I don't think that Mookie Betts will be the Dodgers shortstop in October. I think when October comes around, I could see them going to Tommy Edman at shortstop. Hey, Miguel Rojas is hitting really well, but I think Edman at short, Mookie at second, and we'll see what they do in the outfield. But that's a lot to put on a guy, postseason pressure at that position, especially if his bat hasn't turned around by then. Next bold prediction, the Dodgers rotation is going to have at least 4 healthy starters. Knock on every piece of wood you can find, and the Dodgers starting rotation is going to be their strength. Their strength is going to be their rotation. Last year in the postseason, it was the offense, it was the bullpen, then it was the rotation. This year, that's going to flip. I think the starting rotation for the Dodgers has enough options, has enough depth to be a major strength for this team. Because look at the differences this year. You got Shohei Ohtani throwing triple digits, striking out the side. They're going to continue to ramp him up. Dave Roberts said it was feasible for him to go 5 or 6 innings, and that he's going to be able to pitch more. So I wouldn't rule out Shohei Ohtani making big starts in October. Then you got Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who's put together a top 5 season in the National League as far as pitchers go. You've got Blake Snell, who's on the mend and who's working his way back. The update on Blake Snell, he struck out 7 and allowed 1 earned run on 3 hits and 0 walks in 3 innings of rehab work on Tuesday in the rookie-level Arizona Complex League. That's because the All-Star break, you don't have the leagues playing. But in his Rancho Cucamonga start last Thursday, he pitched an inning, and he was grooving. And you look at the way he's pitched there, I mean, he's retired 9 of the final 10 batters that he's faced. So Snell is going to go up to probably Oklahoma City and make another rehab start. That I could see Blake Snell back at some point during the road trip where you got Boston, you got Cincinnati. He's going to be back at some point very, very soon. So Blake Snell is trending the right way. And then also you got to talk about guys like Emmet Sheehan. If he continues to pitch like he has, if he continues to show that high-level stuff that makes him so explosive, I expect him to factor into whether it be a short burst piggyback situation with Shohei Ohtani. Hey, maybe they're priming Emmet Sheehan to go with Shohei because Justin Robleski might be included in a deal. I don't know, but I do think that Sheehan, as long as he's healthy, he's going to be a part of this rotation or bullpen in a short burst, multi-inning reliever role in some capacity. Sheehan's the real deal. Sheehan's nasty. Roki Sasaki's going to be back at some point in August, and we'll see how that looks. Tony Gonsolin is going to be back at some point. Clayton Kershaw is still pitching well. So, I mean, look, the truth is they have depth. Tyler Glasnow looked really good in his first start back. I don't anticipating unless they suffer an injury in the next couple of weeks, I don't anticipate them going out and getting Sandy Alcantara or Mitch Keller or one of these starting pitchers that could be available. I think they're content with what they have. And is that a risk? It is. But anytime you have high-level pitchers, it's going to be a risk because they throw harder, they throw nastier, and that leads to injuries at some point. But the rotation is going to be a strength. Next bold prediction. I think Will Smith will finish top 5 in – no, you know what? I think he'll finish top 3 in MVP voting in the National League. And you're probably saying to yourself, wait, are you serious? I am serious. Will Smith is 10th right now in FWAR at 3.5 FWAR. He's behind Ellie De La Cruz, Corbin Carroll, Francisco Lindor, James Wood, Trey Turner, Kyle Tucker, FTJ, Shohei, and Pete Crow Armstrong. But I think the Dodgers are going to have a big second half. I think the rotation is going to pitch well, and I think he's going to get a lot of credit for that. So I look for Will Smith to finish top 3 in the MVP voting. I think Shohei is going to win unanimously again. I know Buster Olney, who's going to be on the show next week, says Pete Crow Armstrong. I still got Shohei. Next bold prediction, I have the Dodgers winning the NL West by 10 games. Yep, I got a double-digit win of the division for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I know you're thinking, okay, is that a jinx? Let's call it what you want. If I have that kind of power, I'll flex it. But I don't believe in that. Right now, the Dodgers, 58-39. up big time in the division. Not as much as the 9 games they had a couple of weeks ago, but still a 6-game lead over the Giants, a 5.5-game lead over the Padres. They have one of the lightest schedules down the stretch. They're getting healthy, and I also think they see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they want to get themselves right for the postseason. I think you look at the entire league, you want to finish with the best record. Right now, they're tied with the Chicago Cubs for the best record in the National League. The Brewers are right behind them. I think they value home field advantage because it led to a World Series for them last year. The Dodgers are going to want to go on a run, and I think that not only are they going to win the division by 10 games, I think they're going to have a double-digit game winning streak. That's another bold prediction I got for you guys. The Dodgers are going to have a 10-plus game winning streak in the second half. So I know I'm feeling it. Couple other quick ones. I think Yamamoto's going to get some rest at some point. He's already gone 104 in the third innings. So I think he's going to get some rest. They're going to find a way to get him some rest. And I also think that you're going to see a Yamamoto in a good position to dominate in the postseason. I think that he already kind of established his star power last year in the postseason, but I think this year takes it to a whole nother level. Okay, guys, I'll drop some more tomorrow, but those are my current bold predictions heading into the second half of the season. I got another couple of them I want to drop tomorrow, but want to get to some of these interviews. Here was my man Ben Verlander. I know, all duck. You guys are going to say Ben Verlander? Really? The Astros homer? Hey, look, say what you want about Ben Verlander. The dude knows ball. Okay, let's just be honest, okay? But here's my conversation with Ben Verlander from the All-Star Game. Here with the host of the Great Flippin' Bats podcast, the only guy in the world who glazes Shohei Ohtani more than me. It's pretty close, but is the great Ben Verlander. Ben, first of all, All-Star, Home Run Derby. Just kind of describe kind of what this game means to everyone out here, man. It's just a really awesome environment.
I mean, you just feel it when you're here. You feel it with the players. It's special. The vibe is always awesome. To have the best talent in one spot happens once a year. So it's really cool to be here and to cover it.
Yeah, trust me. I'm on social media. I know people take anything I have to say about the Dodgers very intensely, and that's a good thing, right? But just what is your general outlook of the Dodgers in their first half?
Underperformed and still a fantastic record. Maybe not underperformed, really, just so many injuries. So many injuries, a lot to deal with at different times, a lot of pitching injuries, and the fact that they still are sitting where they are. You talk about a 7-game losing streak right before the All-Star break, and you still look at the standings, and they're still have a pretty good hold on the NL West. Speaks volumes about the team, Dave Roberts, how he's managing the team, and then the players they have. So I would say good first half with everything that's been thrown at them.
Who do you think is their biggest threat in the National League?
The Phillies are really good, man. With that rotation that they have, a bunch of guys that should have been All-Stars. I think were asked to be All-Stars but passed, but their rotation is full of All-Stars. Lineup is full of stars as well, so they just have it. They have a really good team, so I'll go the Phillies.
Awesome. Yeah, my preseason prediction is Dodgers, Astros in the World Series. I think last year was great for baseball, Dodgers, Yankees. I think Dodgers, Astros would be great too. Right now, who are you feeling in the American League?
Yeah, I think I'm with you. The Astros just continue to do it. Like, it doesn't, Cal Tucker out the door, Alex Bregman out the door. They're both here playing at the All-Star game for different teams at this point. And the fact that the Astros are still able to bring up Cam Smith and have him do what he's doing in the big leagues, and have Isaac Paredes doing what he's doing, and to have the team without Yordan with so many pitching injuries, it's impressive. It's a factory over there, and it's really impressive what they're doing. So I'll say in the American League, I'll go with the Astros.
One of my favorite things after the All-Star break, trade deadline. Any thoughts on which team needs to be the most aggressive that can kind of take themselves over the top of the move?
Yeah, the Cubs come to mind. I think the second Justin Steele went down, it was obvious what needs to happen. They need a pitcher, and they need it fast. And here they are. They're still sitting pretty in the NL Central. I still think they're a really good baseball team, but I do think if they're going to win in the playoffs, they need another pitcher. I think they can win the division as is, but if they want to do what they want to do in the postseason, they need another top of the rotation arm.
Dodgers-wise, do you think they just got to wait for everyone to get healthy, or do you see them maybe going crazy, making a big offer, Sandy Alcantara, maybe Bednar, bring another reliever? What do you think, just kind of was your gut tell you about where the Dodgers might do?
Yeah, Dodgers always feel the same to me around the trade deadline. It's their team's good enough as is, just get everybody healthy, and then they always still make a move at the trade deadline to make the team even better. So that's a credit to the front office and what they do over there. They're always in position to win the World Series, and right when they can, they always make their team even better. So it's really impressive what the Dodgers are doing.
Awesome. And Shohei said earlier, like, he plans to pitch and hit for as long as he can. Who wins the matchup? The best version of Shohei the pitcher versus Ohtani when he's on like a June Tani heater? I mean, who wins that matchup?
Yeah, it's funny. I asked him that question a couple of years ago, and I feel like the answer is going to change depending on how good he's doing. His answer a couple of years ago is I could throw 3 fastballs right down the middle and I'd miss all of them, so I'd strike myself out. I don't know if that's the answer anymore. The guy has figured it out offensively, consistently hitting around 300, over 1,000 OPS. So, man, I don't know. I'll give it to the hitter for right now, but he's dominant.
Hopefully they got helmets. Well, there he is, the great Ben Verlander. He's a great watch, a great listen. If you're a fan of all baseball, check it out. Flippin' Bats on YouTube, wherever you hear podcasts. This guy came and walked down the streets of Japan without getting chased down for pictures. But Ben, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your season, my man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
So, guys, give Ben Verlander a break, okay? I know you guys give him a lot of heat. I see Nando saying Ben Verlander looks like the type of guy to ask for the supervisor. Come on now, okay? We get it, Verlander, the Astros, and that whole angle, but he does respect the Dodgers for sure, and I still stand by my preseason World Series prediction, and that is Dodgers-Astros World Series. Now, here's my quick chat with Gary Sheffield. Now, Gary Sheffield, one of my favorite players growing up, got a chance to catch up with him before the All-Star game, and I really love to hear what he said about why the Dodgers are good for baseball.
What is up, Dodgers Nation? I am here with my favorite player growing up. This is a big moment for me, the great Gary Sheffield here on the field in Atlanta. First, Gary, you have the most replicated, imitated swing. If anyone picks up anything, they do the bat wag. I mean, just talk about what that means to you, just that iconic swing.
Well, it was something that I was tampering with in the minor leagues, and I perfected it in BP, and I said I'm going to take it into the game. I was kind of scared to do it because it was like I was moving too much. But then when I got in the game and hit 2 home runs, I didn't look back after that.
It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, a Dodgers fan just fell in love with you so quick. You had some of your best teams, your best seasons with LA. What do you just remember about being a Dodger?
Well, I remember the teammates, the fans was great, the teammates was phenomenal, and the city is amazing. I mean, me and my wife, we had a great time there. We had some good years, and like I said before, wherever they put a uniform on, I treat it the same.
I just heard you talking hitting. What is your #1 piece of advice for young hitters?
Well, my #1 piece of advice is you have to control the 0-0 count. The first strike is always the easiest pitch to hit, whether it's a breaking ball or a fastball or a slider. Nobody's throwing you the A+ pitch on the first strike. And if you can't make contact on that, because you got to start on the on-deck circle ready to hit by the time you get up there to hit. So when they give you that pitch, you make them earn strike 1, you always going to be ahead in the count.
What do you think about Shohei Ohtani's swing, and just how do you just break him down overall as a player, what he's able to do?
Well, the one thing, he got good hand-eye coordination, and the thing is, he's always bat the ball type of guy. He may strike out a little bit, but he makes it count when he need it, and that's what I like about him the most, is that he gives the team what they need when they need it the most.
Who are your favorite players to watch in the box these days?
Well, definitely Ohtani, and I like Jazz Chisholm, Rizzarino, I like him, Randy. I mean, guys with fast hands, and I like to see Aaron Judge hit because he's perfected it.
What do you think about what the Dodgers are doing? Because they're paying big time, man, from when you were there. Just this big juggernaut, right? I mean, what do you think about, some people say, oh, they're bad for baseball because of the deferred money, all the players. What do you think about what they're doing? Do you think they're good for baseball?
Well, I think they're good for baseball because they want to win every year. They're not a lot of these teams where we just exist and to put on a good show for our fans and then go home. They're really trying to win the chip every year, and you got to admire them for that.
Yeah, Gary, you were my favorite player growing up, but I want to know, who is your favorite player growing up, and if I can get your Mount Rushmore 4 favorite baseball players of all time.
My Mount Rushmore is Dave Parker, Kirby Puckett, Tony Gwynn, and Doc Gooden.
I love it. Well, there he is, the great Gary Sheffield. Join us here at Dodgers Nation. And thanks a lot. Enjoy the game, my man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Gary. Thanks so much.
My man Gary Sheffield. In honor of that, I'm gonna do the bat wag with the water bottle here. I see some comments down below. You guys are killing me. He has to kill me. Brianna Rochelle, Dmac is great for baseball. Brianna, thank you. Great for the chat. Appreciate you. Great for the show. Jose Aguirre, come on. Jose Aguirre, Dmac glazing the hell out of Ben's Glizzy. I hope you guys respect the fact that I will read comments, anti-comments to myself. I'll read any comments. I hope you guys respect that. I don't hide the comments on this show. Keith Potter, Ben Verlander looks like he called the cops on the carne asada. No, come on. Asada. Nando, Chef, probably go over 4 against Ohtani. We've got still EJ. I was a Sheffield fan. Got to see him hit some home runs. Dmac interviews. We're not muted. His son was hitting bombs at the combine. Yeah, he was. I saw that for sure. Dmac was fangirling hard. LOL. I will flip your brain. Honestly, I have a funny story about Sheffield. I was like in 3rd grade, and I bought Dodgers playoff tickets, and at the time, I actually told him the story before I interviewed him, and I had bought playoff tickets beforehand, and the Dodgers got eliminated from the playoffs. And when you get eliminated back then, you had the hardcover of the tickets. You actually had to return it physically to get your money back. So my mom and we went there. It was a school day, and I was like, you know what? If I can't go to the postseason games, can I at least go to the ballpark? And we went there. We actually saw Gary Sheffield in his Porsche, had a bucket hat, and I was like, Gary, let me get an autograph. Da-da-da. He took a picture, autograph. He's like, man, shouldn't you be in school? And I was like, no, man, I had to come here and say what's up to you. But, yeah, that was definitely really, really cool. Dmac risen up Sheffield. Okay, so I think we're going to keep a question I asked to Shohei later. We'll do that on tomorrow's show, and then we'll do the Joe Torre interview, which I think Joe Torre had some interesting things to say as well. But we are running out of time, so let's get to the walk-off.
The walk-off.
Hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
All right, today for the walk-off, Shohei Ohtani announced that he is not just a two-way player, not just an international superstar, a model, a guy that can do it all. He also can release children's books, and he's got a new book coming out, Decoy Saves Opening Day. And the plot of this book, really awesome plot. So it's kind of based on real-life events around Decoy throwing out the first pitch on opening day. Though it wasn't actually for the season opener, Decoy did throw out a celebrity first pitch last season, coinciding with a bobblehead giveaway that featured both Ohtani and his dog. This is from MLB.com. The plot thickens in the book, though. When Decoy forgets his lucky baseball at home, can he get his ball and make it back to the stadium before it's too late? Teases the blurb on the HarperCollins website. You'll have to wait until the winter to find out how this story ends. Just incredible stuff. At this point, I'm starting to wonder if baseball is a side hustle for Shohei Ohtani. He is just completely the guy that I think he's always wanted to be with the Dodgers. Since signing with the Dodgers, look at how his life's changed. He got married. He had a kid. He went 50-50. He went to the postseason for the first time. He went to win another ESPY. He is a champion. He now has released a children's book. I mean, this guy has done it all, and I think it's only going to get bigger. I think that's really, really awesome to see that a Decoy book. By the way, he did say that Decoy has been learning new tricks. He told us at the All-Star game that he doesn't know if he's going to be throwing out the first pitch again, but that he has been learning new tricks. So that tells me that I do think that Decoy is probably going to be involved in some way when it comes to him going back and getting another bobblehead night. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Dmac_LA. If you haven't yet, do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers on the way out. Couple last second comments here. Michael, we got Ben saying Quan to the Dodgers since 2024. Shohei, the new Martha Stewart. Okay, that's going to do it. You guys enjoy the game. Baseball is back. 40.7% of the season left. On your way out, do me a huge favor. If you really want to support the channel, hit the subscribe button and drop a comment down below. Drop in a vlog behind the scenes tomorrow. Paul Skenes, Livy Dunn, Shohei Ohtani on field during the game, after the game. Lots of fun, so be on the lookout for that. But that's going to do it, guys. Follow me on X and Instagram at Dmac_LA. And remember, Nothing, absolutely nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.